So you said in last week's episode that Satan, I think you said this, that Satan can't go back to heaven.
Right. Well, I don't think I did say that, but yeah, no, I don't think he can.
I think you said it.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about forgiveness and forgiveness about not being offered.
Right, yeah. Okay, so why can't Satan be forgiven?
Yeah.
Also, does he ever get bored? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's been doing this same stuff for...
I mean, I'm gonna say
7 literal...
I'm gonna say
1,000 years.
I'm gonna say thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands of years. You got to get sick of it after a while. Like, find a new gig, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, but think about
see if you can get back in with your old band.
Hey, yeah, no,
right?
I think though for Satan, I mean, I think for not just Satan, I think for a lot of us, like we love power, we crave power, we love adoration, we want people to adore us, those kind of things. So when you got someone like Satan, he has his own kingdom.
Okay,
he has an authority over this kingdom, and he has people that worship him in his kingdom.
He has people here on earth that worship him.
Yes, he does.
Like, specifically.
Correct. And so I think that all of that feeds into it. So whether he gets bored, I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
He's got a lot of power and he's got authority. He said he wanted to be like God.
Right.
Well, this is as close as you're going to get because
so does he
because he does have his own kingdom. Although obviously he's not like God, who's who's all powerful, all knowing, good. like he's not like God like that way, but he is like God in the fact that he has his own kingdom and he has people worshiping him.
Do you think he's like completely? Do you think he's convinced that God is lying when God talks about himself? Like and thinks that maybe one day I'll get God to mess up.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or does he think that God is better than he is and just wants to mess with him? Like it,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get you. I think, one thing about Satan is he's obviously jealous.
Right.
There's a jealousy component to it, right? Because he was beautiful, but not as beautiful. Right?
As God.
Like he had splendor, but not as much splendor. Right?
Okay.
He had, he had a sense.
So God is a 10.
Right.
And Satan was like a 9.5.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, because even the Lord was like,
right.
You're beautiful, Okay. And so I think that was there. There's a jealousy of not quite that,
Okay.
I think there was a jealousy of why does everyone, or he's looking around, everyone's worshiping, I'll say everyone, the angels, the 4 living creatures, right? The cherubim, all that they're worshiping the Lord and not him.
Right.
And so it's some part of him, he desires that. He wants that.
Okay. I guess what I'm really asking is like, because if he thought he could never be as good as God, why would he keep trying?
Yeah. But I think also there's, and I don't know, we talk about lore and that kind of stuff of why, and so some of this is kind of conjecture of why Satan does what he does.
Right.
Why is he the accuser of the brethren? Like, because it talks about him being the accuser of the brethren, like he accuses us day and night.
Okay.
Right. Like, so why would he be doing that day and night? And I think so much of it is the fact that he just is he's so just miffed at God for throwing him out, for him not being like God. And so I think that he just wants to and I do think it grates on him to see the people of God that God still chooses to love, even though they mess up and they sin.
Okay.
I think that has to grate on Satan.
And so that goes back to the question then, is that because he is not allowed back in heaven? And why would he not be allowed back in heaven if he decided to repent? Yeah.
Well, it seems like Satan made his decision as just eternally lost. And because there was never, this is where I guess being made in the image of God. And that has to be part of it too. We haven't talked about this aspect of it. We're made in the image of God.
Okay.
Satan and the creatures were not.
And the angels.
Creatures. Yeah, angels, four living creatures, like that stuff. Like, they're not made in the image of God. We are. We're image bearers. There's something about you and I that reflects who God is.
Okay.
And that in of itself has got to just tick off the enemy or devil, because
why doesn't it tick off the rest of them?
What, the other angels, you mean? I don't know. It's interesting because the angels are actually able to peer in, and it says like they're like angels wished like that they had the kind of relationship and that kind of stuff that we have with God.
Okay.
And so, so angels know.
They're like maids and butlers and gardeners.
Like the angels?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I think I read this passage to you. We were off air, but in Hebrews chapter 1, the very last verse of Hebrews 1, it says that angels are ministering they're servants.
Yeah.
Like to those of us who will inherit salvation. So they are servants.
Right.
And
so if they do everything God says, they get free rent. Up in heaven.
Up in heaven. Well, but I think they're also just completely caught by God's glory. So I think this is the thing. Like, they might look at us and go, wow, that's different. That's amazing. That's incredible. Like, they can look at that with us, but I don't think there's like a jealousy sense, but they realize that we're different than they are, right?
Okay.
But I do think that they're absolutely caught up in the beauty and the splendor of the Lord himself.
Okay.
And I think that is, at the end of the day,
they're hypnotized.
Yeah, I think that's, at the end of the day, why they continue to worship God.
Okay.
Because of who he is. Like,
so what you're saying is that, like, did God ever declare that Satan can never come back? Or is it just like this unspoken thing? Like,
I think that even in the passages we read last time, when we read from the passages like in Isaiah 14 and Ezekiel 28, it speaks about the fact of this is God's judgment on Satan.
Oh, okay. So
he has pronounced judgment.
That he can never come back.
Yeah.
That he has to be Satan forever.
And that his end is already been foretold.
Okay.
Like, his end is written, if you were. I mean, like, literally written.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so like, So
it has been declared that he's never going to come back.
Correct.
And that there's no chance of him getting back in heaven.
No chance.
By saying, at the end of time, I'm gonna unalive you and you're gonna cease to exist.
I'm gonna unalive you. Yeah. So I mean, at the very end, like in Revelation 20, right? It says in verse 7, when the 1,000 years are completed, Satan will be released from his prison and will go out to deceive the nations at the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. Their number is like the sand of the sea. They came across the breadth of the earth and surrounded the encampment of the saints, the beloved city. Then fire came down from heaven and consumed them. The devil who deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet are, and they will be tormented day and night forever and ever.
Okay.
That's Satan's end.
So at one point in there, you said four corners. Does that mean?
No, it doesn't. But to some people it will.
Yeah. But let's not talk about that right now.
I'm not a flat earther.
So many future episodes.
I am not a flat earther.
Really?
No.
It looks flat though. I'm not either. I just like making people mad.
And the four corners thing actually is like one of the legit reasons people are flat earthers.
Of course.
Yeah, no, it like really is.
We're a sheet.
Right.
Right.
Four corners.
Yeah. Anyway, dragons. Nephilim.
Right. I like the way you just throw random words out.
Yeah, I try to trigger you.
Yeah, I know.
With theological things, because I know that's what you're into.